going to be reading a book by Brian Fraud, who was the creative director behind The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth. This is his book, Good Fairies. You have to be very careful when reading books like this because mysterious things can happen. Fairy places, fairy things, fairy woods with wild bee wings, tiny trees with tiny names. These must all be fairy names. Tiny woods below whose boughs a shady fairy weaves a house. Tiny treetops rose of time where the braver fairies climb. Alright. Let's start on the book. Here's a picture of Brian Fraud. He lives in Devon, England. Good fairies. You can already see some dark crystal, a resemblance of Jen. This bit is very interesting. It says, the fairies I draw are a spontaneous manifestation of my relationship with the world. A normally invisible domain is given form first of all in my sketchbooks. Fairy faces emerge from the blank white pages as if out of a mist. A few loose random squiggles are drawn, and suddenly a complete personality appears, demanding attention and a name. These are cute little guys. I like their big ears. Look like little chihuahuas. It's a fairy on a mushroom. It says fairies are the inner nature of the land and the reflection of the inner nature of our souls. Okay, so where he says, the realm of fairy is synonymous with the Celtic underworld. The underworld, the Blessed Isles, Avalon, Tir Nen Og, Tir Nen Sorja. The astral realms, the inner world, are all aspects of fairyland in shifting prismatic guise. Goes into fairy classifications, elemental creatures, the earth element, water fairies, fire fairies. Actually, what does it say over here? Fairies are seen not by the It's interesting. I've heard of different folklore about fairies that they don't like being talked about if you meet one, but that hasn't been Brian Fraud's experience with them. So maybe it's just, I don't know. It was maybe a couple experiences that people had a long time ago, and then they thought it would be like a forever rule. Or maybe it's like a new vibe with the fairy realm, but yeah, you'll find different things when researching proper fairy etiquette. He looks like a bird. Has really nice eyelashes. And then there's air fairies. Those are, I guess, any of them that can fly. Fairies tell us that small things can hold great truths. This man has antlers. Yeah, it goes into a lot of different history here. Something I've heard in this book and other places, that not all fairies are small. I heard that it was around the Victorian era, I think, that fairies were thought of as little, just tiny, winged, beautiful little creatures. But before that, like over time, there's been tales of them being as tall as us. This looks like the kind of guy you would see in a labyrinth. Something about its eyes look very familiar. There's all little faces within the shadows. So this is saying how fairies, or any kind of fae, some are little and some are tall as well. Like this Scythe, how do you say that? Sidhe. This is talking about why you see some of them sitting on heads in his drawings. Fairies are both luminous and illuminating. It says in the astral planes we find a great ocean of universal images that have been produced by millennia of interaction between the mind of man and the cosmic well. The great psychologist C.G. Jung calls this inner ocean the collective unconscious, a realm containing the whole spiritual heritage of mankind's evolution, born anew in the brain structure of every individual. Fairies take us to a land where wisdom is inseparable from whimsy, and where leprechauns dance with angels. Hey, this guy looks delighted. So does this guy. This one looks like Jen as well, from the dark crystal. Looks like one of the guards from the labyrinth. He looks kind of like a half lion, half elf. Alright, so this is starting the good fairies. On the back is called the bad fairies. We're only going to read about the good fairies today, but that's divided up into 2 chapters. in the kitchen and especially loves baking bread and buns. I'd love to have help up in my house. I bake a lot. This is the spring or primrose fairy. Primroses are among the first spring flowers, and so this fairy leads us into the year as she leads us into fairyland. Touching the right rock with a primrose is one method of opening the door to the fairy. The Irish say that looking over the flowers in a certain way can make the invisible visible, and fairies can be seen. This frail, sweet flower fairy is a messenger from the fairy queen herself, summoning you to fairyland. She crouches poised to spring into your heart, your dreams, and your imagination. This guy's cute back there. He looks like a little koala with his little nose. There's all little elves and pixies hiding. I love this guy over here. He looks like happy. Dog smile. Just pure bliss. Another guy looks like Jen. A little gelfling face shape. So a lot of these were little scantily clad. So I put some little post-its over. So these are showing the fairy waters of wisdom. He's pouring water onto that guy. So many faces in here. And every little shadow is another little face, a little person. As we rinse our eyes in this fairy well, we open up the eyes of the soul to see clearly and clairvoyantly into other levels of consciousness. The bright queen invites us to drink deeply of the water of fairy. As wisdom flows from the depths of the earth through the white lady's nurturing hands. This one in the middle is glowing, so pretty. These over here are more water fae. This guy right here is oboe fairy. He's associated with expressive, plaintive notes of the oboe. This fairy makes an appearance at moments of poetic remembrance. That's adorable. It's very soulful eyes. It's a cute little frog. Alright. Left here, this cool guy is a perceptive pixie. When this fairy appears, follow his lead, for he is secure in the intuition of the solar plexus. His gut feelings tell him just what to do. He is adorable. Looks like he's holding some kind of little pearl. And up here, those are salamander. Top left. Oh, just this top left one is salamander, and then the top right. Here is a sylph. The sylph is a fragment of the earth soul in fairy form. In the fairy realms, light comes not from above, but from within. The mythologist Joseph Campbell tells us that cultures throughout history described a timeless zone beyond the visible world. He said in dreams and vision one enters into it, and on waking returns. As such experiences have let us know its apparitions are of a self-luminous substance, revelatory of the vital energies not only of ourselves, but all living things. I love that. This one over here is Undyne. She's pretty eyes. Very long, pretty hair. This is the fairy godmother, or as the Welsh call her, good mother. Look at this adorable little creature right here. So cute. There's a little critter in there and a pretty owl in the background there. It says the moon-wise godmother pictured here brings us sacred gifts from the land of fairy. She holds a golden apple from the magical Isle of Apples, also known as Avalon. This glowing fruit of immortality and fertile creativity radiates the rich, penetrating warmth of the summer sun. She also brings, as the apple's complement, a crystal of pure moonlight to stimulate clear thinking. When these gifts of the heart, of sun and moon, of male and female imbalance, she asks us to place our lives in balance and to find and fulfill our true purpose. I love her crown, I guess. It's more than a hat. These little glowing orbs. This little guy is so cute. The no-name fairy. The font is all funky here. This fairy came to me one morning, dancing around my weary head with his spindly wings, his cheeky grin, spinning a cobweb crown of confusion. That doesn't help, I growled in dismay. Try this. He laughed and teased the crown into long filaments, antennas to pick up the waves of artistic inspiration. Then he was gone, and I realized that I had never learned his name. Adorable. This little guy is adorable. This person over here is a guardian of the sword. This one right here looks like a guy you would find in the Goblin City. 100%. Here the fairy guardian waits, holding her potent sword in readiness. She waits, ready to transfer spiritual power to the one worthy of the gift. She has a cool mask on too, and really big, beautiful wings. Okay, this is Gwemple. Top left. This fairy dances to celebrate bright, special moments when something is well done and done well. Then she sits, plump with satisfaction and glowing with achievement. It's very sweet. Top right is the Vervain fairy. Fairy flowers are what most people think of when fairies are mentioned. Those sweet, butterfly-winged creatures primly populating the pages of nursery books. In reality, flower fairies are tiny specks of light involved with the process of plant manifest themselves in more substantial forms. Even flower fairies have to grow up. The vervain fairy is a particularly vibrant example of the flower fairy type. Vervain has always been a plant with mystical connections. Ruled by Venus, the plant was placed on Roman altars, used at weddings, carried by Roman soldiers for protection, and messages to signal peace. And this is the morning fairy, bottom left. This fairy is fond of appearing to housewives and house husbands in a sudden quiet moment when the rest of the family is out the door to school and work. When she whispers in your ear, "Don't do your chores. Don't worry about it. Leave the dishes, the dusting, the dog walking, the dinner planning. Do something just for yourself right now." She is the fairy behind that irresistible desire to read a magazine or a book, or maybe watch a little television. But she is also just as likely to urge you to want to finally write that novel, pick up that oboe, or sign up for that course. I think I have a morning fairy in my house. Bottom right is the knowing fairy. There are no secrets from this fairy. She knows where all things that are hidden are. She can find all things that we have lost. But most of all, she knows what you have hidden in your heart. Ooh. She's a psychic fairy. This is the frog queen. She has frog feet. And there's so many cute little creatures all around her. This guy, he looks like an adorable little hedgehog. This mushroom has a face. There's like teeny tiny little guys in there. Like, this guy's adorable. He looks like Jen from Dark Crystal mixed with a frog. There's another mushroom with a face over here. So cute. This one up here has antler ears. I love it. It says, "Many faces peer down at you from the distant surface of the well. Fairy thoughts and impulses that you must leave behind. Name them if you can. Then let them go and leave them at the surface. Follow the frog queen deeper and deeper, and all you no longer need is washed away. Deeper, deeper, deeper." Darkness gives way to the golden glow, surrounding you with pervasive warmth. As a rich golden light permeates every part of your body, every part of your soul. Rest here for as long as you desire. Then ask this fairy for whatever you need the most. Her gift takes the form of a radiant golden ball. Hold it to your heart, and its buoyancy will lift you to the surface once more. As you break through to the air above, the ball has become a part of you, radiating fairy warmth, light, and power deep inside you. As you emerge from the well, feeling light, refreshed, and clear, remember to thank the frog queen for her help. She will reply that you're welcome to return to the well anytime you need. The frog queen sounds awesome. She sounds very powerful, very wise, very kind. This is Althea, Fairy of Revelation. Althea Althea uncovers the nature of life, pulling aside the world illusion to reveal the hidden truth within. Call upon this fairy for protection against deception and fraud. She's a good fairy friend to know. And this is Queen of Fairy. In the sacred groves and ancient orchids, the Queen, or is it just Queen? It just felt weird. I don't know. Queen of Fairy passes the old year to the new in the form of autumn fruit. Just as this year's apple contains the seeds from which new trees will grow, hers is the gift of a past knowledge given to great fruitful potential. Their faces are so cool. So magical. This is the Dawn Fairy, body surfing on solar wind. She radiates confidence and helps at moments of self-doubt. Oh, I love that. Oh wait, actually, where's the moon sphinx? Is that her? Oh no. Okay, so this is the Dawn Fairy. The bottom here. Just the end of the day fairy. That's the Dawn Fairy. That's the end of the day fairy. You can see their hair is a little different. Their faces are a little different. Their bodies too. So the bottom here is the end of the day fairy. Soaring in the light's last rays, the fairy lives in the joy of past memories, yet moves through the glowing darkness towards a bright tomorrow. This fairy is beneficial at moments of crisis or great loss. And they're so beautiful. And this here is the moon sphinx. The sweet dream moonbeam maiden is a fairy of new beginnings. The child of Abona, the ancient Celtic moon, and Horse goddess. She guides us through darkness and light, and through all the moon's deep mysteries, into the fairy realms. Her bright wings speak of spontaneity, freedom, and the swiftness of thought, while her knee rests on the old magic of the earth, formed of soil and stone. In the human world, it is the cold heat of the sun that germinates seeds, but in fairy, the psychic seeds grow. The psychic seeds of growth are nurtured by the moon's silver light. The moon waxes. It's the maiden time. Call on her for guidance through the dark. Oh, it's a sphinx. I love sphinxes as an aspect of the moon goddess. The sphinx is a custodian of primal secrets, full of questions, riddles, rhymes, and clever tests of initiation. She crouches on an owl, a sacred bird of the night, and symbol of the moon. Opposites are brought together and united in this fairy's powerful form. Thus she unites and meditates between the upper and lower worlds, combining animal nature impulses with the human rational intellect. Untamed and free, the fairy sphinx is poised at the crossroads of our lives, speaking in riddles, demanding that we know the answers that lie beyond. The sphinx is the dark destroyer of old patterns and outmoded ways of thought, and yet she is also the creator of new insights and new directions. She awakens our sleeping potential with her sharp gaze, her riddles, and her roar. She guides our path into the fairy with cool markings on their legs and their wings. Kind of like a tiger's eye. And then they have cool little orbs in their crown. This radiant being fights the street shadows, illuminating dark alleyways with the light of her compassion. She's very brave. And this is the expression fairy. This fairy helps in modes of expression such as dance and body posture, and with skills such as cooking, writing, acting, drawing, and making love. You can tell she's got cool dance moves. She has a beautiful crown too. This is Arval Parrot, an owling bird. They look very similar. Arval Parrot lives at the base of a tree. His brother, Owling Bird, they're brothers, that's why they look similar. Owling Bird lives higher up and takes special interest in the welfare of birds, owls in particular, but also any bird with a distinctive cry or song. This gnome is very helpful to humans with throat problems, although he didn't show us today. There is something odd about his elbow, but they are one of a kind. I wonder what it is. He's like double jointed or something, or his eyebrows or antennas are amazing. I really love antenna. Oh yeah, his throat glows. So cute. This is a small woodland fairy over here. The welfare of all little furry creatures is this fairy's daily concern. Mine too. And this guy up here has like a little acorn for a hat. His name is Greg. The word Greg means something small, and in this case refers to apple tree fairies. Griggling apples are the small apples left on the trees for the fairies at harvest. These apples eventually fall to the ground and ferment into an intoxicant. The little people, that's what fairies are also called, little people, like the birds, greatly relish this natural cider, which is no doubt where the expression merry as a Grig first came from. He does look pretty merry. Oh, there's all little faces like in the shadows over there too. This is the fairy of pure joy. So cute. And she's like floating on a leaf too. Or maybe the leaf is attached to the plant. She must be very light. It says this luminous creature is the best loved fairy in all fairyland. There's also something in shamanism called a joy guide, and they're seen as children are unicorn. So I wonder if they're related. Hey, where's the overleaf? That guy? The fairies of the future. Oh, this is overleaf too. Where is that? Over here? Oh, it's over here, okay. Fairies of the future. Over here. It's all like warm colors. And the mask of truth is all like cool colors, except for the big mask. Alright. The fairies of the future. Here. Look at that guy. He's pointing at the future. In very past, present, and future are deeply intertwined. The gnome of now looks in both directions, backwards and forwards, at the same time. He knows both then and now, particularly now. But he says nothing. Other gnomes urge us onward. Anna steps forward carrying the hazelnut of wise, puggle kneels, is expectantly ready to leap into flight. These are the fairies of a bright future and are essential companions on any journey. This is Argia, the fateful fairy. In twilight by the river's edge waits the fairy queen of fate, Argia. Ancient Irish bards believe riverbanks were sacred places of revelation. It was there that Aes, wisdom, inspiration, and divination could be gained. Between the flow of water and the fixed element of earth, the numerous Archaea reveals what has gone before and what will be. Your fate is in her hands. It's so beautiful. So many interesting characters all around her. This is the rainbow fairy. You can see a rainbow prism in her wings. Guarded by her gnome king, Iris the fairy queen offers her rainbow magic to pixie archers. She appears in the middle of dark storms to give us hope, reminding us that hope can soar as far as the pixie's rainbow-tipped arrows. There's the gnome king. There's a couple. 1, 2, 3. This is the flow fairy. This fairy is the director of dreams, manipulating dream images and emotions. He specializes in lubricating the free flow of creative ideas. I found that some days he prefers to stay in bed, leaving us humans stuck. This is Pan. The name Pan means all or everywhere. And like many fairies, Pan can materialize simultaneously in many different places. This little Pan, for instance, appeared to me. Oh, that's Pan. I thought this was Pan. That's Pan. This little Pan, for instance, appeared to me in the shadows by a woodland stream. Contact with the poetic Pan creates erotic impulses, abandonment to poetic emotions, and to intense feelings of spiritual connection to nature. Be careful when you call on him, for his influence is overwhelming. Now this looks like Pan to me. That sounds like what I've heard Pan is about. But the drawing makes him look big. I said little Pan, I got confused. But I think that's Pan. I think he has like hooves for feet. This is Gwenfar. I like this guy's little acorn hat. He's playing the flute. A cute little frog, a little beak. She's playing the flute. So many cute little creatures all over. It says, fairies dwell in the twilight between day and night, between spirit and matter, between the conscience and the unconscious. things are possible, where our past and future meet, where we meet ourselves coming back. When we dance with the fairies, we dance with the reflections of our true selves and the true inner self world. Okay, and then next page we're going to see the Dream Weaver and La Ume. Her wings are so beautiful, they're very opalescent, just like her dress. Dream Weaver and La Ume. Beautiful. This is the Fairy of Transformation. It's a really big wand. I like how you can see where her wing goes into her back. She has this amazing crown. I was just vibing back there. The touch of this fairy's wand brings clarity and transparency. Like this fairy, we become transparent to ourselves, able to see every inner space and corner is clear, bright, free from hidden agendas or disoriented motivations. Above the temple of the Delphic Oracle and on the portal to fairyland are carved 2 words of magic and power. Know thyself. This is the Fairy of Intuition. They look like a unicorn. Like a unicorn person hybrid. Her 4-horn indicates the penetrating power of insight and intuition. She is the leap of faith into brighter future, born on wings of higher consciousness. She has like some kind of little dewdrop. This is the Liminal Lady. Liminal is from the Latin limen, meaning threshold, refers to a psychological state of transition. All fairies appear on the threshold of what is and what is to be. Call upon her in times of change, or when change is needed, but not forthcoming. I like all of her little sparks along her head. She has really neat ears too. She has little glowing fingertips. And then down here, the Truth Fairy. And what is this? Emerging fairy form. So it's like a fairy coming from beyond the veil into this dimension. This is Queen Bridget the Bright. Queen Bridget the Bright comes to light out of darkness. Look at that beautiful wand. Stepping from Tir Tarn Kiri, the land of promise, to whisper old magical tales in our ears. In her hand is the white wand of authority, once wielded by the old kings of Ireland and the old lords of Scottish Isles. The white of the wand represents purity. Its straightness represents justice, made of stripped birch or willow. It brings the light of the spring to the dark of winter. To be touched by this fairy's wand is to be given the gift of firm resolve and true purpose to your spiritual journey. She stands in the space between now and no, initiating all who desire into the mysterious of fairy. Her crown is beautiful, her third eye glowing. Look at him. Look at him. His beautiful long neck, holding some kind of little orb. And like all all occasionally throw our precious hopes and dreams into the universe, where they seem to disappear without response. The retriever is holding on to them in what he calls the lost property office of unclaimed wishes. Sometimes our purpose and plans do not follow the course of what we want them to take, but our health instead and safekeeping until the time for them is right. Trust in the universe and in this fairy who has your best interest at heart, but don't forget to claim your ticket, or your dreams may be lost forever. This is the fawn. This fawn dwells in a sycamore tree in my garden. He says his name is Biag. Oh my god. Brian Fraud lives such a magical life that he's in tune with all these amazing magical interdimensional creatures. Oh, like, look at this guy. Look at it, yeah, honesty. The fairy of the soulful eyes. Oh my god. You just want to hug this guy. This is a ghost of a mushroom. This creature said it was a ghost of a mushroom, but what it actually meant was that is part of the process of physical decay and transformation. Was this fae had a little riddle for Brian Fraud. This is the Plymouth Rock fairy. One of the mysteries of fairy communication is that sometimes fairies will tell us things that do not make any logical sense, at least in earthly times. This is an angel. This one is guardian at the gate. It's like some kind of light fairy that protects his gate. As some of the fairies in here start to get like kind of abstract and more like light beings. Yeah, we have all these. They're like light beings that are archetypes for different, human emotions and human conditions. So this is partnership, chalice, renewal, intuition, spiritual will, transformation, connection, courage, receptacle. And yeah, I think when fairies come from higher dimensions instead of lower dimensions, then they appear as light beings a lot, because they're just a different kind of frequency that we can't really interpret or have the ability to see their form, or maybe they don't have the same kind of form that we have in our third dimension. And this book is also made into oracle cards, which I really want. This is the healing goddess and the glad fly, a spirit that joyously dances in the moonlight on the surfaces of lakes and ponds. That sounds beautiful. Yeah, I really want the oracle deck, and the reviews on the deck on Amazon are so interesting that people say when they get the oracle deck that it's kind of like a portal into the fairy realm where they start to get contact with different kinds of beings and entities from this fairy world. And this book is like the fairy oracle deck because they have the same photos. I think it probably is even more of a portal because it's so in depth to fairy culture and the different beings that live there. So our minds are just open to this realm more. The more you're open to things, then the more likely you are to experience them. So I think this is the end of the Good Fairy chapter. Yeah, I think when you have a dream that you encounter some kind of little interesting creature that you've never seen before, I think there's a good chance that they're a real little being from another realm that has access to the astral plane where we dream. And there's just so many different cultures in all different times that have recorded seeing the same kinds of beings, that it's really just logical. It makes them a cryptid, like cryptology of just mysterious and unexplained creatures that multiple people have seen that have no contact with each other, like different cultures that have never contacted each other describe the same things. And yeah, so I'd love to hear if anybody has any experiences, and if anybody does get any new experiences now that they have opened their mind to different parts of this fairy culture. Always treat them with respect and be polite, just like anybody else. That you get what you give when you're with someone new. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon.